Hey, good morning, everybody. Tuesday, it's March 1st. We continue our creating scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator using free resources, and we're still building on our Quonset. Yeah, this is drawn out, I know. This is the sixth part. You'd think I'd be done with this hangar by now. Well, actually, I probably would. Obviously, you all know that, doing something and recording and talking about it at the same time always takes longer. Just so you know, it would probably take a day or two to do this hangar. I mean, just working straight through it and then getting it into the sim. But I think most of you understand that. All right, so today we are flipping around to the front part and going back to our door shed. And we're going to start working on the horizontal sliding doors for the hangar. And my approach for this, now we already modeled in Blender, we already modeled the actual doors themselves. Now, if you remember, we put a solidification, so that was way too complicated. We put a solidify modifier on the doors to make them a foot thick. But if you remember, we have not applied it yet. Okay, it's still in its native format, okay, so to speak. All right. So even though it looks on the screen like it's 3D, if I go into edit mode, select a door and go into edit mode, and let's turn on nodes or vertices, turn on our ghost mode, and don't forget my keycast keys. There we go. Okay. You notice that it's still two-dimensional as we're working on it because the solidify is only a modifier. All right, it's not actually changing the geometry that we're working on. We have not applied it. So that's why the reason I did not apply it yet, because I knew I had more work to do on the doors. Now, we have rented lips this morning. We have two styles of these doors. Let's go back to our prototype. We have a door that has a person door in it, and then we have a door that does not. All right. So what I'm going to do is, even though I've laid these out before, I talked about different ways of doing your doors. Since we only have two of these hangar doors that have people doors, I wasn't going to create one and then copy it over and all that kind of stuff. But I think I changed my mind. What I'll do is we'll make this door and then we'll copy it over to door 3's position and move it where it's supposed to. Okay? That way we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay? And now all of these doors have windows. So here's the plan. We're going to make door 6, okay? We're going to put the windows in, and then before we make the person door, we're going to copy it to position 5, okay? 5, 4, 2, and 1, okay? That way we don't have to recreate the windows for all 6 doors individually, okay? So we'll make the basic door first, copy out what we need to where they're supposed to be. Then we'll make a door with a person door in it and then copy it to position 3. Okay? So that's the plan. All right, so I did some measurement ahead of time. The door is 3 feet. The person door is 3 feet wide, standard standard width, but the height is 6.5 feet. It's shorter than a standard door, and that makes sense going into into something that's more temporary. Okay, it's not really a standard door, but it's close. But it's 6.5 feet tall instead of the standard 7. Okay, now the windows. These aren't really windows like we have been modeling elsewhere. Okay, they at least even on the other side on these hangar doors on the south side. Okay, these windows are basically, there is framing behind the fiberglass panels. These are fiberglass translucent windows, kind of like what we're gonna texture on the other side. Okay, it's just pieces of fiberglass, yellowish fiberglass that is screwed to a frame on the back. Okay, so if we took these panels off, there would be a frame behind the panels. Okay, and that frame is part of the frame of the door itself. Okay, everybody understand that? So that's how we're going to model these. So making these windows is going to be a lot easier than making windows like that are in here, or even the windows that we placed on the hangar doors on the south side. Okay, so let's go into Blender and let's get started. All right, so we have our basic shape of our door. All right, and we have our window. All right, now we are in edit mode, and we can come into go to polygon select this polygon right here, and we are going to select these two. Let me get out of Ghost here. Let me select these two polygons, and let's hide those because we're going to make some loop cuts in our window. So H to hide. Okay. All right, now we have our door. What's that? Oh, that's that wall we're going to get rid of eventually. All right, so let us go ahead and we'll go ahead and leave the modifier on for now. All right, so let's go back to our prototype and see if we can figure out how many frames there are. So it's kind of hard to see because the image is kind of wacky. So this door shows better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down the middle. All right. All right. So we have six frame bays. Okay. So we need to divide this by 6. So let's do our Control R, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, right? Okay, now before I do this, I know that there's a frame on either end. So let's just escape. I know that there's a frame on this end and a frame on this end. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a loop cut, drag that down to the end, and we're going to move that in the positive X direction half a foot, 0.5. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on the other. Control R, slide that down. Now we're moving this in the negative X, 0.5. All right, so now we have a frame, okay, on the perimeter of our door there. Okay, now we don't need to do this for the door itself because it's going to be solid solid anyway, but this is just to show a frame in the middle. Now we want to divide this polygon here in the middle with the intermediate frames that are behind the fiberglass. But before I do that, I want to select this polygon, and I want to hide those. Okay, so here, this is where our fiberglass is going to be. Okay, so let's Control R, do our loop cut, and put 5 frames members going down the middle. Okay, hit enter, and then hit escape so you don't move. All right, then what we can do is, in order to make the width of the frames, okay, we can do this. Okay, let's go into polygons, select all the polygons, hit I to do our inset, and let's make our inset 0.25. Oops, let's escape. We want to, let me Control Z out of that again. All right, let's start again. Control A, A to select all the polygons. Hit I twice so you get the individuals, okay? And then hit 0.25. So that makes 0.25 on each side of our loop cuts. All right, so we have a 0.5 going all the way across, which is the same width as our end frames, right? Now, normally on a window with the polygons that are selected after you do your inset, I would copy those to a new selection and call them the glass, right? But we're not going to do that with this because these are panels that sit on the outside of the window. All right, so we can just go ahead and delete those. We don't need them. We're going to create the fiberglass panels differently. All right, so let's delete those faces. So now we have our frame. Okay, now we do not need this, the tops or the bottoms, and we don't really need this end of the frame because we've already put a 6-inch frame on either end of our window. All right, so we need to do a little bit of editing here. All right, so let's go into front view, which is tilde-F, so we have a straight on view, and let's zoom into our windows. All right, now go to polygon select, and let's select our ends, and let's select our bottoms. Don't worry about this little triangle thing, these little triangles, we'll get rid of those. And let's select these like that. And let's go ahead and delete those. Okay, and let's turn on nodes, vertices. All right. Whoops, there we go. Let's turn on vertices. All right, I just want to look at things. All right. And let's go back into front view, tilde-F. Now, remember that trick that we learned when we were doing our windows yesterday. All right, let's make sure that our pivot point is set to 3D cursor, which is that right there, and select our vertices. Let's select the top vertices. Oh, wait a minute. Let's select one vertice here. Do a Shift S, move your cursor to that selection. Then select these top vertices here and we're going to scale in the Z, so SZ0, and it moves all those to the same height. Okay. Now we want to do the same to the bottom, so let's select our control vertex, Shift S, move our cursor, select these vertices here, and do an SZ0. And that moves those all to the same height. All right. So now on our door, we now have what appears to be frames in the middle of our door, okay? But we don't have the fiberglass panels, which is fine, okay? So let's turn our door back on, which is Alt-H. So when it's done doing its 3D stuff, you know, this is basically what our door is going to look like. These are basically framing members of the door itself, okay? They're not really windows, okay? They had some openings and they closed them up with fiberglass, okay? Now we're going to make our fiberglass panel that we're going to put across the front, okay? And how we're going to do that is we are just simply going to go to make sure you're still in vertex and select this vertice here, this vertice in the corner, this vertice here, and this vertice here. So you have those 4 vertices selected, and then hit F to fill. All right. Now with that polygon still selected, P for new selection. Now over here in our table of contents, let's hit period. All right, so hangar door 6001. Okay, we're going to call this, we're going to rename 001 to, let's just call it fiber. Okay, hangar door 6 fiber. All right, that just tells me that that's the fiberglass panel that we're putting on our window or over our opening. Okay, now if you notice, since we created that polygon that we just did for our fiberglass panel, since it was created inside of an object that had a solidify modifier to it, it actually gave it thickness. All right, we don't want that. Okay, so let's get out of the edit mode and select our fiber panel and remove, by hitting the X, the solidify modifier for that. Now we've only removed it for that fiberglass panel that we added. Okay, now if we turn that fiberglass panel, our door is going to kind of look like that. All right, now these may not be that thick. You can make them as thick as you want, but I made them 6 inches thick, which is only about that big. All right, so we have enough information now to copy this particular part of the door to door 5, 4, 2, and 1. Okay, so what we can do is we can take door 6 and we can copy that to, all right, so how do I want to do this? Okay, I just want to do it just like I always have. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's kind of pan over to, okay, so this is going to be copied to 1, 2, 4, and 5. All right, so with door 6 selected, we are going to Shift D. Okay, and that's going to make a new door 6001. All right, hit escape and turn off 3D cursor pivot to medium point and turn on our snap. Okay, and we're going to snap it to this corner, right? Because we want to bring this door over and inset it to where door number 1 is. But in order to do that, what we want to do first for door 6001, go into edit mode and select this corner over here, all right, the lower left hand corner. And since we want active vertice as our snap, okay, that's why we selected that one. Okay, select all, make sure that this corner is highlighted, and then move until it snaps right there. Okay, so that is our new door number 1. Okay, so let's call this, let's come over to door 1 and rename that to X for now, and then come back down to 001 and rename that to door 1. Okay, so we have a door 1, and door 1X is our old door. Okay, now you can either copy door 6 again, or you can just use the door 1 that we currently have selected. Okay, get out of edit mode by hitting tab. With door 1 selected, shift D, escape so you don't move it. Go into edit mode for door 1001 now, and move that to door number 2 because this vertex is selected, and hit G to move that to that spot and click. All right, so now door 2 is done. So let's rename our old door to door 2X and rename our 001 to door 2. All right, get out of edit mode, do another shift D because we need to copy this to 4 and 5. Okay, so shift D, escape so you don't move it. Okay, so we're here now. All right, and let's go into edit mode. This vertex is still selected, and we're going to move that over to door 4, this corner of door 4. So G, and then click. All right, so that moves that in that position. And then get out of edit mode, and we have to do our renaming again. So door 4 now has an X, and we rename our 001 to our new door 4, right? Okay, catching that? All right, now we've got one more. So shift D, escape so you don't move it, go into edit mode. This node is still, this vertex is still selected. G, move that over to door 5 and click, and then do our renaming again. So door 5 is now an old one, and door 4001 is now our new door 5. So put door 5 there. Then you can turn off your X's. Okay, and we'll delete those later. All right, so what we have now is we have our window frames basically, or door frames for doors 1, 2, 4, 5 complete. We don't need to do anything more to those other than copy the fiberglass panels to their positions, but we'll do that here pretty soon. So let's go back into our new door 6, and now our new door 6 doesn't have an X because that's the one that we've been editing. Okay. All right, so we're going back into door number 6 because we need to put our person door in it. All right, so tab into door number 6, and let's select all, and then hit period on your number pad to focus in on that selection. Now, what we want to do is polygon select select the panel that our person door is going into, come up to selection or select and invert our select. Okay, so these polygons we want to hide, so hit H. Okay, so this is the panel that we're working on now, right? Now, is this door, let's take a look at our prototype. And that door is probably, I can tell that it is inset a little bit, all right? Just a tad. All right, so we're going to completely cut this polygon out, all right? So we can set our door back, all right? So where am I? I got to figure out what I'm doing here. Oh, minimize this. All right. All right, so back into Blender. We've hidden the polygons we don't want to make a loop cut. The distance from the end of this door to our person door is 4 feet because I measured it ahead of time. So we're going to do a loop cut. Whoops. We're going to do a loop cut. No, we're not. Why can't I do a loop cut? I know why I can't do a loop cut. So escape. The reason I can't do a loop cut, all right, I need to, let's turn on vertices so I can show you why. Okay, this is, it's the math of how Blender works, okay? Now, other CAD programs, this is not a CAD program. CAD programs would allow you to do slicing and dicing based on, I'm confusing the point. All right, so if I did a Control R for a loop cut, notice that if I hovered any one of these edges that I'm not getting that yellow line going across, because this polygon is subdivided into, it's subdivided into too many parts that Blender can't figure out how to do the loop cut. Loop cuts like rectangles and squares. They don't like triangles and quadrilaterals and stuff like that because it's trying to figure out, like if I want a loop cut from this edge to this edge, it doesn't know which one of these vertexes to base our line on. Does that make sense? All right. So usually in this case, what I do is, if there is another way, guys, let me know. I mean, I've been using Blender for years, and I try to get it to do CAD stuff as much as I can because it makes modeling, precise modeling better. There is a way that we can do some splits, but it might take a little longer. All right, so a quick way to do this would be to, let's unhide, Alt-H, bring all of our polygons back, okay? One way to split this would be to select this polygon temporarily, hit P, make it a new selection. All right, so this is 001. All right, then get out of edit mode of our original door 6, go back into selecting our 001, go back into edit mode and turn on vertexes. Okay, now these vertices are for this polygon, but I don't want these vertices. I just want 4 of them. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this polygon and I'm going to delete it, but I'm going to delete only edges and faces. So it looks like the whole thing goes away, but if you go to vertex mode, the vertices are still there. All right, so you can reconstruct that polygon. And I'm going to select these vertices here and I'm going to delete them. And then I'm going to select these 4 vertices here. Did I get this one in the corner? I think I did. Yeah. Okay, I missed this corner. All right, so I'm going to select these 4 vertices and I'm going to fill that again. Okay. Now, it moved our door. Why did it move our door? Oh, I know why. Because that polygon's flipped. So let's turn on our face orientation. And let's Control Z. Let's undo that. Okay. And let's see. No, that, why? Oh, yeah. It has to be. It has to be flipped. Okay, so if I put in a polygon here, and I hit F by putting the polygon, what happened was that if we didn't have a solidify modifier attached to it, it would have been red. And so with the solidify modifier attached to it, it solidifies toward the red. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So let's Control Z so we get rid of that. All right, and let's get out of edit mode. And remember, we're dealing with door 6001. All right. Now, what I want to do is, I have some extra stuff. Oh, I know what those. All right. Come over here to the solidify and hit X, get rid of that. All right. Now, there's no, for 001, door 6001, there's no solidify modifier to it anymore. Okay. Even though, okay, we copied this polygon from an object that had a modifier to it. Okay. And remember, when you copy an object from an object that has a modifier, the modifier comes over too. So when we copied this polygon here, it brought over the modifier, but the modifier is causing problems. Okay. So we get rid of the modifier. We'll re-add it when we fix the problem. And here was the problem. So now I don't have the modifier applied to 001, right? So if I select these vertices, and I have, sorry, I have face orientations turned on. If I hit F, whoops. Okay, I think I'm getting way ahead of myself. Oh, I'm not in edit mode. That's right. So escape and select 001. Go into edit mode. There we go. Select our vertices. Hit F for the face. See how that face is red? Okay. Before we had the modifier already turned on. Okay. And when we added this face, notice that the red was facing to the outside. That's why the solidifier added that to the outside of our door. We want it to go inside. So before you add your modifier back on, select this polygon and do an Alt-N and flip it. Now, if we come back to our modifier and add that modifier back in for door 6001, make that a foot thick, because that's what we did before. Now our door is correct. Does that make sense? Okay. Sorry about that, but like I said, I do these live so you see my mistakes and we fix them together. Now I hope you guys can remember what we were doing to begin with. So let's turn off face orientation. All right, so what we did was we took this polygon of a door that is connected to these polygons. All right, we copied that to its own part, which is door 6001. And we removed unnecessary vertices and made that a nice rectangle. Okay, that's what we did. Now, what we can do now is we can put this back into our original door 6. Okay, so what we're going to do is get out of edit mode of door 6001. by hitting Tab, selecting 001, hold your control, select door 6, and hit Control J. Now we're back to our door 6. Okay, go into edit mode. And if you select this polygon now, you should be able to Control R and do your loop cuts. Okay? Now, we will fix another problem here in a second, and I'll show you. Okay? Let's escape out of here. Turn on vertices. Now, this polygon right here that we have selected, you see it highlights the vertices that we have that are part of that polygon. But we also have the vertices in our model that are connected to these polygons. All right. Now, this polygon is independent. They're not sharing these vertices. Okay. That's why we can do our loop cut now. All right. So let's do our loop cut for our door. Let's go into polygon. Do our loop cut, Control R, and our first loop cut is 4 feet from this end of the door. So slide it over, and that is in the negative X direction. So GX minus 4. Okay. And then our door was 3 feet wide, so another loop cut. Click, drag, GX minus 3. Okay, so now we have the width of our door. Now we need our height, so another loop cut, be horizontal. Click, drag it down to the bottom, and then GZ 6.5. Hit enter. So now we have our loop cuts for our person door in our hangar door. Make sense? Okay. I probably really confused you, but anyway. Now go to polygon select. Select that polygon that is the person door and hit P for new selection. And for door 6, 001, we're getting a lot of those. Let's get rid of the 001 and put P door or PD. Let's just do PD, make it short. But it now also has its own modifier that's a foot thick. This door is not a foot thick, right? So let's get out of edit mode, select our person door, and get rid of the you don't have to get rid of this solidify modifier because we're going to solidify it anyway. So instead of making it a foot thick, let's make it 0.125. So it's 1.5 inches thick. Okay, see how that looks? All right. Now the only thing that we need to do is we want to recess this door back maybe 2 or 3 inches. Okay, so with the person door selected, you do GY 0.25, and that resets that person door in our hangar door like that. Okay. Now we can work on the person door. Okay. We're going to put all of this back together here in a second, all right? So we can move them together, all right? But let's go into our person door and let's look at our prototype. Now, the part of this image for this person door, it is a person door, but the image is really kind of distorted and nasty in this area. And it looks like it has a window in this door. But we definitely know that the doors inside of our hangars, our hangar doors, do have windows. So let's add those. So zooming in here, let's get a couple measurements. Let's do path. That is 1.38. So that looks like it's 1 inch Well, it is. It's 1 foot 10 inches is basically what that is. Okay. And let's measure a height. And we're 2 3/4 feet up and down. All right. So knowing those dimensions, let's with our person door select, tab to go into edit mode, and let's do some loop cuts. So this is 3. We're going to make our window 2 feet wide. Okay. So we need to subtract 6 inches on each side, right? So let's do Control R, slide that over here to the end, hit GX 0.5, and then we know our window's 2 feet wide, so let's do a loop cut, slide that over, do a GX2, okay? And then let's do our top cut. So let's do Control R, loop cut, move that to the top, and let's drop that in the Z direction. I did something wrong. Let's do Control Z. I moved it in the wrong direction. Oh, got rid of too many here. Control R, let's put this back in here. GX3. What is going on? All right, Control Z. Sorry. Sometimes I get way ahead of myself. All right, so let's go back into edit mode, do our loop cuts again. So loop cut, drag that over, move that X 0.5, do another Control R, loop cut, move that over to the other side. Nope, I did it wrong again. See, you guys sure you want to learn anything from me? Sorry. All right, so let's do this loop cut. We're putting in our window, click, move that X 2 feet. There we go. Now we got it. Now let's do our loop cut on the top. Click, drag that to the top. GZ minus 0.5. There we go. And then let's move this down 2.5. Let's add another loop cut 2.5 feet below this one. So Control R, click, move that up. GZ minus 2.5. Hit enter. There. Finally, we have our window and our door. And in this case, we're not going to put a frame around the glass. We're going to say that that's inset in the door itself. So what we can do is let's select our polygon, select that polygon, hit P for new selection, and rename our PD001 to glass, PD glass, hit enter. And it has a solidify modifier to it. So get out of edit mode, select our glass, get rid of the solidify modifier, and let's move that back a little bit, half to the middle of our door. So GY 0.0625, that's half our door. Click out, and that's kind of what that looks like. All right. So our door is solidified. We have all of that. It's inset. We haven't applied any textures yet. So that makes hangar door 6 basically complete. Okay? But they're different parts. Okay? So the door's apart. And now what we're going to do is copy those. We're going to put these all together for now. We'll do some separation here in a second. Well, not in a second, but when we get ready to do our textures, we'll separate some parts out. But let's select everything that has to do with door 6 other than the fiber. So door 6. All right, so let's select our glass first. And control, select our person door and door 6. All right. And let's put those into one object for now. And when we get ready to do our texture, we'll split them back out. Actually, I changed my mind. I have a right to do that. I don't want to put them all together. Okay, I really don't. I changed my mind. Why do I want to create more work for me later? All right, with those 3 selected though, we're going to make a copy of all 3 of these objects, the door, the person door, and the person door window. So, with those 3 selected, do a Shift D and then escape. Now, notice that we have 001s over here for those new parts. But these are going to all be door 5, right? I mean door 3, right? So let's come up to door 3 and rename door 3 to 3 door X. Okay? Come down to everywhere that it says door 6001 and rename those to put a door 3 on them. So let's change that one. Change this one to 3 and get rid of the 001. And change this one to door 3 and get rid of the 001. Just like that. Alright, so now all those are door 3. Now we just need to move those in their correct spots. Alright, and what we're going to do is select door 3, go into edit mode, turn on vertices, select all the vertices, and select this left hand corner twice to activate it. And we're going to move that to this spot over here, right? So let's kind of turn that so we can see. And then G and snap that right there. Alright, now we need to move over the person door and the glass, right? So get out of edit mode, select the person door, go into edit mode, select all the vertices, and then select this corner right here twice so you activate it. Now don't worry about the move here because we don't have anything to snap to other than the flush face, but that's okay. We'll fix that here in a second. So let's move that to this corner with G, snap it there. Now let's move it back in a quarter of 3 inches, so G, Y, 0.25. Okay. And that should have moved it back, and it did, right there. See that right there? Okay. Don't worry about this because we still have our old door 3 turned on. That's why you can't see the recess. All right. Now let's take our window. Let's get out of edit mode. Select door 3 window glass. Go into edit mode. Select all the vertices. Select this corner twice so it's activated. Okay. Let's turn on wireframe. Let's turn off door 3 for now. Door 3X. There we go. That's what we want right there. Alright. And do I have those selected? Yes, I do. And let's select those and move those to this corner. Okay, it's now our window's not inset to our door, so we need to do that. So G, Y, 0.0625. And then get out of edit mode and let's turn on shading again. So there we have door 5 moved over. Okay. Now we can turn off. We already have door 3X turned off. So now door 3 is constructed. The next step is we need to take our fiberglass panels and copy that, and they're all the same for each one of the doors. So let's take our fiberglass panel and basically copy those to each one of our doors. All right. So let's turn on our fiberglass panel. Make that the active object by selecting it in our tree. And let's go into edit mode. Now we can make our fiberglass panels all in the same object, okay? And then we can split them out later. But if since we're making our fiberglass panels all one object. So hangar door 6 fiber is going to have 6 polygons in it. Okay, so let's select all of our vertices and make this left-hand corner active by selecting that twice. And let's do a Control D and move it there. Notice I didn't do the escape because I did want to move it. All right, let's do it again for this one. So with this selected, Control D and then select that corner. And then another Control D, snap it to this corner. Do it again. There. And do it one more time. Control D and snap it to that corner. Okay. But you notice that each one of these are in door number 6 fiber. All right. But that's okay. That's okay for now. That can be okay forever if you wanted to. If you didn't intend to open these doors, okay? But if you want to slide these doors open, you would need to make sure that this fiberglass panel is separated out. Like for instance, notice that, let's turn polygon select on. The last one that we did is selected by default, okay? With that selected, if you want to make this fiberglass panel for door number 1, all right, with it selected, let's go ahead and do that. With it selected, hit P, whoops, hit P, new selection, and rename this to door 1 fiber and get rid of the 001. Okay, so now that's separated, that you can join to door 1. All right, we can go back into 6 again, 6 fiber, and select that polygon, and we can P that one out, new selection, and call this one 2. Get rid of the 001. So now that's up there where it belongs. And then select, make sure 6 is selected again. Do door number 3 and hit P, select, rename it to door 3 fiber. Okay. Select that one, P, select, that's door number 4 fiber. Get rid of the 001. And do one more for door 5, because door 6 already says door 6 fiber. Alright, so select that one, P that one out, P new selection, change that to 5. Get rid of the 001. So there. So each door has 4 parts. It has the door itself, it has the fiberglass window, it has the person door if it does have a person door, and then it has glass if it has a person door. All right. So 5 should only have 2. Should have the door and then the fiberglass window, which we do. Door 6 and 3 should have 4 parts. Should have the door frame, the fiber, the person door, and the person door glass. All right. I'm sure this was confusing. Like I said, I like to do it so you can see me make mistakes and see how I get out of them, because you're going to do the same thing when you're doing your modeling. So you have to figure out how to correct your own mistakes, right? Does everybody understand that? I hope you do. Most people that are watching videos, they want their tutorials to be perfect. And I'm not like that. I want you to get into problems and solve those problems. I may not solve and do things perfectly. I really don't. But I want you to, you're going to get into situations where you just got to figure out how to get out of them. All right. And with me making my mistakes and you see how I get out of them, hopefully you guys can do the same thing and solve them quicker and better than I do. But I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to do. All right. That's why I do this. I do my videos live, not live. I don't stream, but I do them like if I'm just sitting here doing them myself for my own use. Okay. So you can see my flawed thought process. Sorry. Anyway, I don't want to lecture you. All right. So what we have now, get out of edit mode. What we have now is the front of our building with our doors. So I hope they kind of look like this. All right. We're going to be getting into texturing soon, I promise you. Okay. So let's move that. Now notice that these 2 doors are slightly open. I can show you how to do that. All right. And that's really easy. The only thing is, if you remember what we did with the hangar doors on the south side, where we had to parent things together, since we have many parts, you have to do that with these as well. Okay. So let's go to door number 1. And the only thing that we have to do with door number 1, 2, 4, and 5 is parent the fiberglass panel with the actual door itself, right? Okay. So with the fiberglass panel number 1, you are going to come down to object mode, and you are going to go to relations and hit the eyedropper and parent that with the door itself. Okay. Did that work? I'm not sure if it worked or not. I think it put it on the wrong side of my building. Oh, it inset. Okay. So let's undo that for a second. Before we parent our fiberglass panel to our door, if you remember when we were working on this side and we were parenting all the glass and the frames to our door, okay, the one thing that you have to remember to do before you do your parenting is you need to apply all the transformations that you've done. Okay, so let's select our door 1 fiberglass panel and come up to object, apply all transformations. Then select your door, okay, object, apply all transformations. Okay, now select your fiberglass panel and come down to, in the object properties, come down to parent, hit the eyedropper, and then select the door. Now they're parented together. Okay, the fiberglass, so no matter what we do with the door, the fiberglass panel will go with it. All right, so now if you wanted to open up your door, now we have not applied the solidify modifier. You can at this point, but we're not going to yet. All right, but what I want to show you is now I'm going to select door 1, and if I want my door open in my scene, I can do a G, X, and then slide that door open. Okay, now I have snap on, so if I get close to a vertex, it's going to snap, but I don't want to, so let's stay away from it. And click. Now our door is open. Notice that? You see that? And the fiberglass panel went with it. Okay? Because they're parented. The fiberglass panel is parented to the door, so wherever we move the door, rotate it or whatever, the panel goes with it. Okay? So that's how you put these doors together, and you can open them in your scene. All right, so let's Control Z to undo our little move that we just did. I might have to do a series of them. So we have the fiberglass panel parented to our door. Let's parent the fiberglass to the other door for door 2. So again, remember, before you parent, select your part, go into Object, Apply, All Transformations. Select the door, Object, Apply, All Transformations. Okay, to do that in one swell swoop, you can select all the parts that you want. So I have door 4 and 5 and panel 4 and 5 all selected all at once, and then you can do Object, Apply, All Transformations, and it does it for all 4 of them in one shot. Okay, then we already did the transformation here, so you can select this panel, go to Object, go to Relationship, select the door that panel belongs to. Same over here. Select the panel, and since you're in Object Properties, eyedropper, door. Select the panel, eyedropper, door. Okay? So now that all the parenting is done, so if I select this door and I move those, see how the panels will be moved together? Okay? So escape so I don't move them. Okay? Now, to do the same thing with the door and the people door, it's the exact same thing, except you have more parts. So let's select the fiberglass panel, hold down your Shift, select the door, the person door, and the window. The panel, the door, the person door, and the window. And then you can go to Object, Apply, All Transformations. Okay, then you can do your parenting. So I'm going to select the fiberglass panel, come down here, hit the eyedropper, click the door. Go to the person door, eyedropper, panel, the door. And then the glass, that's the last thing we need to parent, eyedropper, and then the door. So now that all the parenting is done, if I select door number 3 and I G to move it, everything goes with it. Okay, so I'll hit escape so I don't move it. Now come to door number 6, do the same thing. Parent the fiber to the door, select the person door, eyedropper, the hanger door, and then the glass, eyedropper, and the door. So if I select door 6 now and move it, everything goes with it. Okay? So After a long drawn out video, we now have the front of our building complete, sort of modeled anyway. We'll do some adjustments for the fiberglass panels when we get ready to do our texturing. So where are we now? Okay, so just so you know, I do all of my modeling before I do any texturing. All right, sometimes I'll add a texture here and there to see how it looks and all that kind of stuff, but mostly I build my models before I do any of my texturing. All right, we are almost done modeling. We have a couple things to model yet, and we'll do those in the next video, but let's bring up our prototype. We're almost getting ready to texture, and we have a few things to build yet. We need to build our signs. We need to add this extension. We need to add this fuel tank and the wall that goes around it. And we need to do our piping. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. And after that video, I'm kind of trying to give you a roadmap of where we're going. After we build these last few pieces of the model, then we're going to start doing our texturing. We're going to go into Krita. We're going to create our sign. We're going to go out and look for textures to use for our corrugated steel. And I'm going to show you how to do a mapping of an image to get our roof put on, our roof skin put on our model. So the next video, we're going to build the last parts of our model. And then the video after that, we're going to get into doing all the texturing and stuff like that. I know I made a lot of mistakes and probably confused you guys on this, but I hope you understand the reason why I wanted to show you my mistakes. And not only to say, man, that guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, sort of. But I'm glad you guys stayed with me. Work on your hangar. Post pictures of your hangar, okay? On any one of the flight sim groups or whatever. There is a flight sim group that I've put together called, what do I actually call it? I can't remember the name of my own group. It is called Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 SDK and Scenery. Join that group, okay? Just go to Facebook, join that group, and I'll add you guys in. Hey, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me and doing this video. I hope you learned something from it. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you feel inclined to support me. You know, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account, My Physical World. And we will see you guys on the next video where we model this end of the building, put our fuel tank in, our little extension and some piping along here. And then the videos after that, we start making this look like a building and putting it into the sim. Just a caveat to put it into the sim. I have not updated yet to Sim Update 8 yet. I'm waiting until everybody does their updates so the servers aren't so my update happens quickly. All right. I think we all know that. So may the odds be ever in your favor in your update to Sim Update 8. And we will see you guys on the next video. See you later. Thanks for coming.